Okay. And you know what's funny? I did no social media sharing, so I hope you guys are gonna smash the thumbs ups, because I completely
All
forgot
right,
to
I'll give
share
you some.
anything on social media. But it looks like we're rolling through. While I'm waiting for confirmation, I'm too busy talking nonsense in the background to do all of that. So we'll see how it goes. While we're waiting for confirmation of that, of you guys letting us know whether or not there's audio issues or anything like that, what I'm going to do is remind everyone to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for the email list. That's the best way that you could support us here on the channel. Look around the website. We've got lots of things there. Lola posts daily deals and things of that nature on there, as well as you can get the Hank Strange patches. Yes, I said it. There you go. This one right here is the main. That's the main logo, the broadcast logo, and this one is what I call the blaster logo with basically me in a super suit. So, if you guys order those while we have supplies, we've got gunvote stickers going out. Hashtag gunvote. Please make sure you go out there and vote. I know here in Florida, the online registration crashed. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Ooh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I think some
Online
of
to
that's
vote?
online registration for
To
voting
vote.
crashed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, like I said, help us out there. Smash the thumbs up. Share this if you can. I'll see if I get a chance here. I'll be up there still trying to share it and do all that kind of stuff, because I know some people wait until they see those links go up. But let's get into the show here. I'm gonna smash this. Start.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange
Boom!
Situation.
Make sure you guys
Lifestyles
subscribe,
of the
thumbs
lock
up,
and loaded.
ring the bell, Walter. There you go, ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. Walter is getting busy on that cowbell. There you go. This is episode 653 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Hank Strange. Tonight, our subject is Facebook, ATF, Van Halen. There's a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, busy news day today. Busy
Yep.
news day.
Yeah,
The McCluskey got indicted.
yeah, the McCluskeys, those pioneers of the gun world. They are both super tactical trainers, extraordinaires, examples of what every... No, not really. But anyway, they got indicted, so that's not necessarily a good thing. So we'll talk about all that stuff. My guests are PRP. There he goes, Rolando, Puerto Rican Pistolero. El Boricua.
How's it going?
Pistolero.
Maximus.
Yeah, I don't know. What's up, Rolando? What's going on, man?
You were stalled
Hey,
there,
how's it
bud.
going, guys?
Yeah.
Happy to be back.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate you being here. We also have in the background, as you guys can hear, making noise, making trouble, Walter Keller,
Ringing the bell.
Safety Harbor Firearms.
In the app, yeah.
Yeah, Safety Harbor. I don't know. I just can't say Safety Harbor in a normal way. It's just weird.
You got your Maine accent going on.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, Safety Harbor. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so we got Walter here. We've got PRP. We should have sometime around the 8 o'clock hour. We should be getting John Crump, because he's also in the news. When the news guy makes the news, man. Yeah, that's how you know it's trouble.
Yep.
Trouble coming at you.
You start no shit, there'll be no shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Lola says, what is this? What's nonsense is Lola getting up to? She says, evening dimples at Safety Harbor Firearms. Really? Okay, well, I guess Walter does have dimples. I think we're all dimpled here. This is a dimple podcast. But Lola, I guess, doesn't recognize anybody else's dimples except Walter for some reason. So, there you go.
Making an impact tonight.
Yeah. And Kathleen Music Lover is seconding that. She says he's looking dapper. So there you go, Walter. You getting some love from the ladies?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Looking
that's
dapper?
you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with
what do-
that.
what do these
I
girls
think
want?
Rolando looks dapper. Look at Rolando. Look at
Yeah,
that.
look at that young
Oh,
guy over there.
they're talking about Rolando. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I knew they weren't
I was gonna
talking
say-
about you or me for that matter.
trying to butter me up and want something, you know.
Oh, Rolando. Yes. Okay. We all
that's
bow
better, that's
down
better.
and acknowledge Rolando's dapperness.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. El Dapper, Puerto Rican
El
pistolero.
Dapo.
Yeah, El Dapo. Oh boy. I don't know.
I have to represent myself well and look good for my wife. So.
Oh,
There
awesome.
you go.
Congratulations. Look at
There you
that.
go.
You know? He's like what's the name of that guy that's married to now I'm gonna forget. I'm terrible with names. So Regis, what was Regis's last not Kathy Lee Gifford, what's the other chick that was Kelly?
Kelly Ripa.
Kelly
Yeah,
Ripa,
the one-
yeah. Kelly Ripa's
Yeah.
husband sometimes is on the show with her.
Yeah.
You know.
That girl needs to eat some more food, man. She's like
Kelly
scary
Ripa.
thin. I don't know.
Yeah, that's terrible, you know.
I like a little meat
if
on
you're
there.
that bony, eat a sandwich. I feel that
Yeah.
way about the press secretary.
Oh, really?
Oh,
McEnany.
Does he eat a
McEnany?
sandwich?
Yeah, she's too bony. You know, you look at her walking like, man, be careful. You might make a step and just break your legs. You know?
I do like her attitude, though. I do like.
She's
Yeah.
she's
She's
the
a
best.
beast.
Yeah, she's the best press secretary ever.
She's ready for any debate. She's got that binder and she just throws it at everybody, ready to go.
Yeah, I want her to be my press secretary.
Yep.
You know, yeah, she's a pit bull, but she's like an emaciated pit bull though. She's a hungry pit bull that someone is making suffer and not giving any food to. But maybe if they give her a sandwich, she won't be so good anymore.
That's what makes her
Maybe
dangerous.
not.
Yeah, she hungry.
Keep her hungry. Keep her mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's not even anything I intended to talk about. Big shout out to Walther Arms, by the way, for sponsoring the podcast here. We appreciate those guys. I'm not looking dapper, but if you check out my Gun Nerd shirt and you guys want to get one of these, you can get it from, guess where? Who knows? No one knows. See? No training going on with you guys. Oh, Walter, let's see your shirt, Walter. Walter's also wearing
Ballistic
one.
ink.
Ballistic Ink, there you go. He's got the Keep Calm and Corona on shirt. And yes, you guys can get those from Ballistic Ink. You can go there, support us. We appreciate it. Unfortunately, when you go there, you're going to have to scroll down past a whole bunch of shirts before you get to ours. But you might find it on page 3 or 4 or something like that, but they're there.
Just keep looking.
So, yeah, just keep scrolling. It's a good thing. There's a bunch of shirts and a bunch of cool shirts and everything that they're throwing up there all the time. Let's see. Here's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with Rolando. What's been going on with you, man? I actually checked out the podcast over the weekend.
You did. I appreciated it that you and Lola checked it out. Yeah, we had a great time with Rhonda. I think it was it started off rough because we had power go out there and it messed us up for a couple of minutes. But once we got going, I think it was one of our best shows. You know, we always have a great conversation with Rhonda. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I would encourage everyone to watch it out. I took a clip out of it. One of the best parts, I think, where you were commenting in there too that you enjoyed that clip where we were all pretty engaged, just talking about current events and getting involved in the community and whether people are just angry or are they ignorant, or is it a combination of both, and are we being manipulated? So, I mean, we're going to talk about Facebook tonight, so that kind of goes hand in hand with all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Walter, what were you going to say there?
No, I'm just saying angry or ignorant. And you said both. I was like,
yeah,
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's always a little bit of both mixed into that. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Jay Loafer says this. So this will probably be the first thing we get into. This is from Jay Loafers. He says, "Hello all, sad day. We lost a talented man in Eddie Van Halen. R.I.P. Eddie." So, Walter, you want to take this on? I know this is the biggest news for you. This is the biggest news for you.
I knew he had issues, and he had throat cancer, and then it kind of had a part of his tongue taken out and stuff like that. And I heard that it came back, but I didn't know that he was on death's door.
Yeah. NPR has this. Eddie Van Halen, guitar hero, dies at 65. The guitarist and songwriter who helped give us the rock band Van Halen, its name, and sound, died Tuesday after a battle with cancer. He was 65. His death was announced by his son, Wolf Van Halen, which is an awesome name. I can't believe I'm having to write this, the statement said, but my father, Edward Ludwig Van Halen has lost his long and arduous battle with cancer this morning. He was the best father I could ever ask for. Every moment I've shared with him on and off the stage was a gift. Sorry, Walt, go ahead.
He lived hard and he played hard, and he smoked like a smokestack most of his life.
Yeah, you think it was the cigarettes, or did he get the cunnilingus cancer, or
another thing?
Who knows?
He had that part of his tongue taken out, and he said that was the area. Whenever he was on stage playing, a lot of times he held the guitar pick, extra ones in his mouth, right there, and that was a section of the tongue they had to take out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So do you think, was he constantly cutting his tongue by doing that, maybe, or?
Well, I don't know if it was just that or the metal. That was one of his he thought was one of the problems, because I guess he used like copper guitar picks or something.
Yeah.
But if you watch them for a long time, when he was performing, and he would just constantly, plus a lot of and drinking, a lot of drugs, and a lot of lines, and a lot of everything. A lot of excess. Yes.
Yeah. So this was in your time, Walt, because I was looking it up, and I'm not trying to say I don't know about Van Halen. Of course. Right. Who doesn't know about Van Halen? I grew up in a different generation of music, right. But I still know about Van Halen because obviously that was a big guitar band, hair band, and all that kind of stuff, and they were big in the 80s, which is where I grew up. But they started in 72.
Yep. Yeah. From what I understand, when they started playing, David Lee Roth, who was the face person, the singer, his father was a prominent eye surgeon in Los Angeles, and fronted them the money for their equipment in their early part. My wife was telling me that Gene Simmons ran into him early on, and they were trying to sign Gene Simmons to the management company that ran Kiss at the time, and they decided they didn't want to. What a mistake! And and then Warner Brothers picked him up. So, but yeah, just one of those bands that just had a different in that time, mid 70s after Vietnam, and and there was all just kind of a doldrums of, I thought, probably of music, kind of that the ones from the 60s, and there was all the Led Zeppelin and all that stuff, but when Van Halen hit the scene and the way he played the guitar, it was a whole nother world. It was just it was out of control. And of course then the 80s started and the bands were out of control and everybody was out of control, and and just one thing, it all played together.
Insanity.
And then MTV comes along, and then you're seeing all that craziness and debauchery on MTV, and everybody wants to be in, hell yeah, let's get in there, but yeah, I guess that's being at the right place at the right time. One of those things.
And being talented. We can't take away talent from.
No, definitely. He was a natural. I guess he didn't know how to read music, so he was a natural that could just pick up and play, and listen to music and do it. Which that's a gift, because it's not easy to do.
Yeah. What was your favorite? So I don't know, Rolando. You can feel free to jump in here. I don't know. So let me, before we get to that, let me just say, I'm not gonna lie to people and say I could tell you every Van Halen song. I recognize them because they were in movies. They were the soundtrack of the 80s, whether you like it or not. But when I came to America, first of all, I think I said this yesterday, I grew up with reggae music. I'm from the Caribbean. That was the first music I listened to. Then when I came to America, I got big into hip-hop music. But in the 80s, music was kind of together. So everyone was kind of listening to a little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of country, rock and roll, or whatever. But then, obviously people had their favorites. So Van Halen is this... I remember going to high school, and most of the white chicks had Van Halen T-shirts. I remember that.
Well, they probably been to a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I don't want to front and act like I know all the songs and all that kind of stuff like we would do some other place. But do you guys, either Rolando or Walter, what's your favorite songs?
Panama and Jump, but I think that
probably
one
of those. Yeah.
Yeah, that probably goes for most people. Like I said, I was born in the late 80s, so that was a little bit before me, but and I know them more from the pop cultural aspect. But I definitely love to jam out. I mean, there's nothing like getting into your car and just jamming out to Van Halen and 80s hair metal and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Chris
and
Bullis
so you
says
just get in
Eddie
that mood.
played on Michael Jackson's Beat It. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just get in that mood and you just jam it out, and I just don't. And like Walter said, really, MTV, you really saw that's why those bands were so over the top, because it really became visual for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Where you really, a lot of times it's like, well, man, these big bands, you may never get to see them because they go on tour and they're only going to hit up the major cities. So now with MTV, you can actually see how they are, and their performances matter that much more, because it's not just live. It's now you get to see them on the TV screen.
Most of their young fans couldn't see them anyway. We couldn't really go to concerts all like that.
I never saw them in person. My first Van Halen music that I had was on an 8-track.
Well, that's what DCG44 says. He says, "How old am I? My first Van Halen was on 8-track." So you and Walter are the same age.
I mean, they came to their first album that really took them. The big one was, I think, in '77, I think, or something like that. And I just started high school in '77, so
yeah.
So that was the music that was going on in high school when I was there.
They were strong all through the '80s.
Oh yeah, well then and even when Sammy Hagar joined the band, it was like a whole nother. Brought a whole nother crowd into it also, and
it was all that soap opera. I remember that stuff.
Oh yeah. It never with one thing about Van Halen was, you never knew what was going on with them, because they never really told you what was going on, whether they were going to come up on tour, would have done. There was always this mystery about it. It seemed like so. Maybe that was purposeful, just so people are always the rumor mill and all that stuff. But.
I'm throwing people's favorite songs out there, by the way. And Mark K says MTV Classic is playing nothing but Van Halen. It's sad, right? Yeah. It's sad when you are so. I don't know how you put. Like, go ahead, Walt.
It's sad when the reason why. That's it's the throat cancer, the excess,
dying at 65. You're not. You still got a couple years in you at 65.
Look at like his influences, like Jimi Hendrix, another one, over OD kind of thing. Yeah. Wow, could you imagine a 65 or 70-year-old Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. What's the name of the guy from? Is it Kiss?
Gene Simmons. Yeah.
Gene Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still around.
Oh yeah, but he's. But
what's the name of the other? What's the name of the other real skinny dude that's always like sticking his tongue out?
Rolling Stones. The guys from the Rolling Stones are still around.
Yeah, what's the Rolling Stone dude? All of those guys are still here, man. Those guys are like 90
Mick
years
Jagger,
old or
something.
About?
Mick Jagger?
Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been on 100 final tours.
I don't know how those guys are surviving. I don't know what are they taking.
Look at Keith Richards. Keith Richards,
yeah.
Yeah,
and he looks, he's like petrified.
Yeah. What's his name that had the remember that their whole family was on MTV too? That had a show.
Ozzy Osbourne.
The Osbourne. Yeah. Ozzy's still out there.
They're getting ready to do that again.
Yeah. How did Ozzy eat a bat head, and then he still doesn't? He didn't get the Wuhan. He was doing that way before people. He's a pioneer.
Here's some stories about Ozzy Osbourne back in the 80s. He was a wild man back then.
Yeah, I think some of that stuff was made up, though. I don't think they were really eating bat heads and all that.
No, that was not.
That wasn't. No. I'm curious about this. What generation did you like? Were you in high school, Rolando? Because I'm 10 years younger than Walter. I don't know if you're 10 years younger than me or more than.
I grew up. My freshman year was 2001. So September 11th. Yeah, September 11th was my generation.
Holy moly!
Directly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a straight up. I guess I'm the upper limit of millennial is what they would call it. Yeah. So who were your dudes that when you were in high school? Music that nobody would consider real rock music.
Yeah, that's a weird time.
It was a lot of punk. Well, punk rock was big. Yeah, punk rock was big in the late '90s and early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd still have a lot of bands like I guess you'd still have Green Day.
Yeah.
Some 41.
Is that considered? Is that still grunge or is that's?
Yeah, it kind of like goes into that. So that period was kind of weird.
And also K-pop, Walter. Also K-pop. He just he's hoping I don't bring
that's
that
newer.
up.
That's newer. That's like 2010s and stuff like that.
Yeah. Don't lie.
Yeah. The weird 80s were crazy music, rock and all those celebrities and the craziness. Then we go into the 90s with this just like I don't know what happened. It just went flannel and Seattle and all this junk.
We had grunge grunge was, but everything was controlled by MTV. I think in the zeros, like Rolando's talking about, a lot of that started switching away. So in our time, like Walter, you started out on the time when everything in the 70s, it was all radio.
Oh yeah.
Then in the 80s, especially like the later part of the 80s, it started switching over to MTV and all that
the video
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like hip hop wasn't in the beginning. Hip hop wasn't even on MTV.
No, it was on VH1. All the black performers, hip hop, that kind of stuff was all on VH1.
That was even in the beginning. So I remember I came to America in 1983. Hip hop was on the local. What are those stations called? Like the public not VH1 or anything like that, but the public broadcasting stuff.
Yeah.
Well, just FM radio?
The AM dials.
No, it was TV, but it was.
Like
public access television.
Public access. Yeah. So I used to
Wayne's
listen
World,
Yeah, I used to listen to Ralph McDaniels on Video Music Box, and I remember when it first started, if you wanted Ralph McDaniels to play a video, you had to call up, and then it charged. Remember that, you used to be able to call numbers, and they would take money from you. So he used to do that to make money, huh?
Yeah. You do like a collect call, and then you dial the extension, and then you say how much you want to pay and all that stuff.
And that's how you get a song on, because I remember, I literally grew up with some rappers out there, and the record labels and stuff like that would actually have people on phones calling up so they can get their stuff before it even went to VH1 and then eventually got to MTV. And then as time went on, eventually you had like BET and all of that, and it was massive competition.
Right. I know with in my period of time, it was like TRL was big, so everybody would call in for the top 10 shows and all that stuff. And then really when I was in college, it was right when social media began, and you still had Napster and things like that. So Napster. MP3s started becoming big, and everybody started ripping CDs, and the whole controversy with Metallica and all that stuff.
Until Metallica went after Napster, and that took care of that. Yeah.
So, but it still went on. I mean, that changed everything. It's all streaming and MP3s now.
Napster is still around today, right? In terms of Napster became iTunes. Basically, Apple went in there and got a version of Napster. They called it iTunes, legitimized that whole thing, and they made made lots of money off of that.
Armament and Access has the story right about Ozzy and the Bat, if you read that.
What did he say? Okay, Ozzy, you want to read it, Walt?
Someone threw a bat on stage, and he thought it was a rubber bat, and he almost threw up when he bit into it.
What? Who's walking around with a bat in their pocket? I mean, you're just walking around with a bat in your pocket. You're like, oh, here, Ozzy, here's a bat because I love you. That's so crazy. Okay. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Boss Hog says, had friends giving up their allowance for that. He's talking about Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniel. And I actually wound up meeting Ralph McDaniel and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm old school. I'm way old school hip hop. So yeah, that's a sad thing. Van Halen. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 2020 sucks.
Pretty much. That sums it up.
2020, man. This is so. Look, people always die, right? This is a reality. Unfortunate part of living is death, right? That completes the cycle. But this year, man, is vicious.
Well, look. well, Trump's back at the White House, and he says he's got no symptoms of the COVID.
Yeah. Well, if you believe the memes, Trump is Superman or something like that. If you look at those,
somebody's got to be.
If you look at those memes,
would you rather have a sickly?
No. I'm happy. I'm happy for Trump or anyone out there that they say that they stay healthy. But this is a weird, crazy year, and if you already have things, I don't think that anything that happened to Eddie Van Halen had anything to do with coronavirus. But we have lost a lot of celebrities, entertainers, over coronavirus or the complications thereof.
Some
right?
from
Yeah. So it's been a rough year, man. You know, it's just one of those years where like everything just keeps smacking you. It's like the dingus of God is smacking you upside the head
I like
on a regular basis every day.
I like the metaphor that a lot of people are using that it's a TV show. So it's like every week the writers come up with something new to make the plot even crazier.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then they cancel it.
Yeah. By the way, way back, I think, who was it? I think Kathleen Musiclover or someone was asking, what did I mean by the cunnilingus cancer? If you don't know about that, I don't know.
Oh, that's what's his face got from
that's what happened to, isn't it Douglas?
Yeah.
Is it Michael Douglas?
Michael Douglas and his younger wife there.
Yeah. Too much, you know, you're gonna have to Google what.
Too much vitamin P.
You're gonna have to Google what the C word means, because Lola is yelling at me because I'm even bringing it up. Brian Quick says, I don't know, 1963 was crazy or 1968. I wasn't there.
No,
I was.
no.
I was. Here we go.
Let's see this picture. How old were you back then? You're gonna have to get closer, Walter. We can't even make out your big head in that picture.
Hang on a second here. There's no date on this picture, but I was a youngling, so.
Yeah, let's see there. Oh yeah, definitely a big head. Whoa, look at that cranium. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like a 9-pound baby, you know what I'm saying? There ain't.
Oh boy.
Both my boys were 9-pound babies.
Yeah. At least 7 pounds just in the cranium. You know.
Oh yeah, we lost Kenny Rogers too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And
I'm sorry. When did we lose Kenny Rogers?
A couple of months ago, wasn't it? Or yeah.
Mac Davis died the other day. Mac Davis wrote a whole bunch of Elvis Presley songs.
Wow.
Plus a whole bunch of his own stuff.
How did I miss Kenny Rogers? I think I seem to remember that in the back of my mind, but did we ever talk about that when that happened?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
What? Oh yeah, that's
we're going to have
more bad news.
Go back in time.
Why'd you guys have to remind me, man?
I remember because I remember it impacted me because I remember at SHOT Show, I forgot where we were going, but I was in an Uber with Brickle, KD, Argo, and a few other people, and Kenny Rogers started playing, and KD just started singing to it, and it was pretty awesome. It was hilarious.
Who doesn't?
and we all started singing. The Gambler.
Kenny Rogers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what you gotta know when to hold him?
Yeah, that's what we were jamming to in the car. It was pretty funny.
You gotta know when to hold him. Know when to hold him. Know when to walk away.
Good wait.
When the gambling's done. Yeah. See, but this is what I was trying to say here, and I know we're going on about the music thing a little bit, but back in the days, music used to bring us more together than it separated us. I'm just saying, think about it. Now
I think it's just more music's about being viral now. It's all about being viral and getting clicks because it's about the music video or how many clicks or how many listens you get on the stream. It's not about making like an entire cohesive album anymore. It's more about getting that single, I think.
That's true, yeah.
Yes. Well, that's because there's so much more music, so many more people, that it's gotten, people get specialized into, they only listen, like I listen to all kinds of music.
Yep.
But people have gotten so specialized that they only listen to this. When back in the days, you only had records or 8 tracks or whatever it was, and the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, Boss Hog says Kenny died March 20th, 2020. Oh, I remember living in Nigeria when Bob Marley died, and that was like a big deal. And I remember because we had friends that were Jamaican, like a whole family that was Jamaican. My dad went to school in England with the father of that family, and then we all hung out in Nigeria and everything together. And when Bob Marley died, everyone, not just us, like because we were from the Caribbean, people in Nigeria were crying. All over the world, everyone was like, what? And everyone was upset about that. And we used to be like that with certain things, right? There's certain, like music in certain categories crossed lines and boundaries like that where everyone recognized when that happened. Maybe the last person, like probably someone like Kenny Rogers or Michael Jackson and things like that, we all acknowledge it. And I would definitely say with Van Halen, because who doesn't know? Who doesn't know who that is?
Yeah, and not like a one-hit wonder Van Halen kind of thing, but you know they've been relevant for 30 plus years probably. You know, so
which is amazing, and in a lot of movies.
Yep.
In terms of the music, you know, which is a big thing. I think. You know.
Mark K says HPV virus. Kurt Douglas.
Yeah, that's what Kurt Douglas. Yeah, not Michael Douglas. Kurt Douglas.
No,
wait. No, it is Michael.
No, it's
Douglas.
Michael. Kurt was his father.
Yeah, it's Michael.
Kurt Douglas
Don't try to
was his
trick
father.
us, Mark.
He just died recently too, like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And that's when his family said on his dying breath that he was talking bad about Trump, stuff like that. You know, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, don't mess up the. Mark A. Okay, Mark A. is on a roll. You want to read that, Rolando? What he said? You see what he said?
we lost Kenny Rogers about eight facelifts ago.
You're just wrong, son.
Oh man, that's brutal.
You're just all kinds of wrong. That's just bad.
Oh man.
That's one thing. I wish people wouldn't do all the plastic surgery. I like to see these dudes get old.
I don't like when these women make their lips look like freaking something out of a Roger Rabbit thing, you know?
Yeah, I think too much surgery, everyone starts looking like the cat lady.
If you want to know something about K-pop, that's like a huge thing in Korea. Like plastic surgery it's almost taboo not to have plastic surgery.
Oh, really?
There. Oh my gosh, they're so
Get the eyes
vain.
done,
They're so vain. It's such a petty society. I mean, it's like I feel like the Japanese it's more the Korean societies now, but I think the Asian societies kind of take Western culture and put everything into overdrive. So you see their cities, it's like New York, but futuristic and way bigger. And the pop music,
Runner.
it's like it's like 90s pop, it's like 90s and 2000s American pop music, but like on steroids and over the top. But you see, they still do dancing. Like dancing is not as big in videos as it used to be. You know, at least with the groups and things like that. So they kind of take up that stuff. But that's how it is over there.
Latino Locked and Loaded. We're gonna get her comment in here.
There she goes. She just got home from work.
Yeah, she says, for once, I'm not the one to bring up K-pop.
I gotta hold the torch for
It's
her.
been brought up twice, so I brought it up first, technically.
Yeah, he did. It was Hank's fault this time.
I planted that seed, Johanna. Just boop, planted it, and then once it went in his brain, your programming kicked in, and that's why he just did it. Just goes to show you've got him trained for K-pop. He knows K-pop trivia. Okay. Yeah.
I know a little bit about a lot. That's what I try.
No, listen, man. I understand. You know.
Yeah. Yes, Catholic music lover. K-pop is where the boys look like females.
They do. They do.
I used to get all that stuff on my Instagram, and I didn't really ask to get it. You know, I didn't subscribe to it. It was, and I'd look at this stuff going,
what are you looking at?
Ooh, I'm like, yeah. What is this? I'm like, okay, okay, what else?
Yeah. How that's a thing, I don't even know. But do you know what the South Koreans invaded us with the Hyundais? It started with the Hyundais.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but now they're made in Alabama, so I think so. That's like,
Yeah, it's taking over. Then you got
well,
Kias.
they set up a toehold there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So,
Yeah, and some of those cars are nice, by the way.
yeah,
yeah.
they're all right. Yeah, they get good reviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first car I learned how to drive stick was an Elantra.
Oh,
actually.
an Elantra? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's first car in America, because in Nigeria he bought a Volkswagen Beetle that was new. He never had a new car in his life growing up in Guyana. That's not even a thing in Guyana. You don't even... I heard a legend that he had a car in Guyana, but it didn't actually run. And my dad, even though he's a metallurgical engineer, a master's degree and all that stuff, not very mechanically. My mother told me he couldn't build a crib. So... So that didn't run. So he rode motorcycles and stuff like that. But in Nigeria, he had a Volkswagen Beetle. In America, he got one of the first Hyundai Excels. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that joint was $2,500
Like
in 1985. It was like $2,500, brand new.
Brand new. Yeah.
Yeah. And somehow he scraped that money together and got that thing.
The new ones are pretty good. I actually like the Stinger a lot.
Stinger's awesome.
I wish more people made cars like that, like a big grand. I kind of want like a shooting brake kind of car. That's really what I like.
Oh, shooting brake.
Because I've always been into hatchbacks. So now as I've gotten older, I'm the dude that would buy a sporty station wagon if they made it, or if they made like the Mustang a shooting brake.
I
think it would be awesome.
Audi has the A6 Avant.
Yeah.
Those are out, but you're gonna be really tough to get them. Like all the ones that I've seen are already spoken for.
Oh yeah,
the A6 Avant, and let me tell you, you can. What is it? 600 horsepower in a station wagon.
Yeah.
Mercedes still makes a wagon.
They wait. Does Mercedes still make a big beefed up station wagon like that here?
Big
in
wagon.
America?
I just there's an article. There's an article right now on Fox News about the small number of wagons in the U.S. and they're not made by U.S. companies.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Well, Cadillac was making a big
Yep.
beefed up. What was the Cadillac one?
They had the
SRX.
CTS. The CTS, they had a station wagon again for a while.
CTSV, right?
Yeah.
CTSV.
Yep.
Yeah. So that the Audi ones is really nice, but you know.
Yeah, because I mean, I look at
We're not putting
got
up
a
Mark K's
Mustang.
comments anymore. That's how we get in trouble with Lola.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll send
Yeah,
Lola in there to talk to Mark K.
Oh man.
Just trying to get their wrinkles.
Here, I'll put it up, but I'm not saying it. Dan Hates You says, I just want a 2-door Jeep truck.
Jeeps have gotten so out of control.
Yeah, Walt thinks those are ugly.
The big one with 4 doors and a pickup bed in the back is as big as a Suburban.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened to the Jeep? I guess that doesn't work with a millennial. Yeah.
What, the big Jeeps?
2-door Jeep.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it depends where you're at. If you have a family, those things are cool. Like, but
Yeah.
if it's just you, like now my kids are all grown up and driving their own cars. I'm sorry, I'm not having a whole bunch of extra car for people who aren't in there.
Yep.
No, sir. No.
That's how it was. Once I got out of college, I used to be like, well, I want a 4-door car, a hatchback that you can, go out with friends and take everybody out. But now it's like, no, I've got a coupe and I don't want to drive anybody except for my wife, and it's
Yeah.
and
absolutely.
just hang out.
Coupes
And
are
then
the
if we
cars.
get kids,
Coupes,
we get other stuff.
cars should only be coupes. By the way, I'm just gonna say that now. By the way, I'm just putting this up here. I am not repeating any of this. Cars should only be coupes. That's my personal opinion. Any car that's not a coupe, coupes. Yeah, I don't like them. I'll be honest with you. I never ever have. I've only done it because I had to. I refused to get a minivan. That's why I had a big passenger van when the kids were younger.
Yeah, I'd rather have like a cargo van than a minivan.
Yeah, and then I had like the first Escalades. I had one of those suburban type stuff. Walt, like you're a suburban dude. Those are, like when you got the family, you're hauling around a bunch of stuff. Right now we've got a big pickup truck for that kind of thing. Pickup trucks are actually pretty cool to me. Brian Quick says the 4-door Jeeps are ugly.
Well,
It depends.
I don't know.
There's some of them I like. The ones that don't have anything on it, I do not like. They look ugly.
I
The ones that are jacked up look better.
Yeah.
all I hear is Jeep, and I look at those and I go, that ain't no Jeep.
I think I love how the 4-doors look when you get like the angled back. I think they look nicer.
Slope back, yeah.
It makes it look better because the proportions are off on the 4-door, but they're pretty awesome. I mean, they're still pretty capable for what they do. Like Joe's sister used to own a Rubicon, and that thing was a beast, and it was a big 4-door. It was awesome to take off road. They took it to Moab and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
on road, they're not so awesome to me.
Yeah.
On
You pretty
road,
much should just get like a second set of tires if you're going to drive it on the road all the time.
Yeah. Not very fuel efficient, not very quiet, very wobbly.
They have the new
Wobbly.
ones. They have a diesel now. What's the mileage on that one? Don't they have a diesel on the new ones? Or
They do, but I don't think that's been released yet, the diesel version.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And then Latino Locked and Loaded says the family Rubicon was tricked out. Awesome. Okay, listen, let's go away from car stuff before we get in trouble. Before we get, we've sidetracked into a whole bunch of things. Lots of different things going on here.
Yes.
We're still waiting on John, and we're going to talk about some stuff going on there. Go ahead.
I did see the chat bring up the Q thing a lot.
Yeah, so
like
let's
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, let's throw that up here on the screen.
But yeah.
This particular one is from the NRA ILA, and it says your action needed. Urge the Department of Justice to rein in ATF's arbitrary determination on Honey Badger pistol. And if you haven't heard about this, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives (ATF) recently informed firearm manufacturer Q that in ATF's view, the Q's Honey Badger pistol with stabilizing brace is actually a short barrel rifle and therefore subject to the National Firearms Act, NFA. The NRA strongly disagrees with this arbitrary, inequitable, and incorrect determination by ATF that puts millions of firearms owners in danger of federal prosecution. And it goes on. Who wants to get into this first? Walt, I know you went through some stuff.
Let's let Walter. Let Walter start.
I haven't read all of it, so correct me if I'm wrong. But the Honey Badger people, the company, were promoting it as shooting it like a rifle. Correct?
No, I don't.
I thought I read a little bit, and that.
So what? Shouldering? You're saying?
Yes. Actively promoting it as such. And you're walking a fine line. That's like poking the. That's like this is supposed to be an arm brace, right? Supposed to be an arm brace, right?
Yeah, but so I thought the ATF said that your use wasn't. So lots of people do that, right? With these pistol braces, lots of people do that.
Yeah.
And the ATF said that they're not going to go after people for their use of it. Are you saying that because the manufacturer was doing it, maybe they're like, oh, well, this is the intent.
You're promoting it as, yes. That's where I'm kind of going with it. Not to say that ATF stuff is right. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you keep poking them, if you promote it as being, like a way around the other thing, and to shoot it as a rifle, or like a rifle is fired primarily, I think I would never do that as a company. I would never promote it that way. I've seen, for example, Adam Kraut. Adam Kraut is right. He was sponsored by SB Tactical. When he would show SB Tactical brace, he never put it to his shoulder and shot it like being a lawyer he never put it to his shoulder and shot it like that, because I think he probably figures that I know what they say, but what are they going to do? That's where ATF needs to be reeled in. All these federal agencies need to be reeled in on their law making stuff, which they're not supposed to make law, and then say one thing is good, and then a year later say it's not. And that's kind of what they're doing here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the only way that's going to happen is if it goes to federal court, and then it goes from federal court to the Supreme Court, and they have to hear it. Yeah. And it's a can of worms that the Supreme Court doesn't want to open in its current because that would reel in the Environmental Protection Agency and all these other government agencies that come out with these mandates, and all of a sudden it's law.
But I think they need to be reeled in. Go ahead, Rolando.
They do. My concern with the Supreme Court is I haven't seen, because we haven't had a prominent gun case in so long, even though, let's say that we get Amy Coney Barrett. We did an episode on her a couple of weeks ago on our show. And on first glance, she seems to be pretty good with pro-Second Amendment. I know that Adam Gottlieb from the Second Amendment Foundation, I think he had a good primer on her saying why she'd be a good pick. But anytime that I'm sure people have heard of Chevron deference, if they haven't, that's basically where either the Supreme Court allows, a lot of first of all, it's usually when a law gets passed, and at first we're like, whoa, we know that law is blatantly unconstitutional right away. Why doesn't the Supreme Court take this out? And it's usually like, well, you guys passed it until somebody sues about it or brings it up, like we can't do anything about it. Or they'll sometimes look at, well, if the Supreme Court already ruled on something in the past, they won't, basically look at it again. And sometimes that's a problem with conservative judges. You never know what they're going to do when that happens. Are they going to say, well, we already talked about this issue with the NFA, so it's settled law. So even if we don't like it because the Supreme Court in the past may have dealt with a case similar to this, too bad, so sad, it's already been decided. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I get scared even with conservative judges, because sometimes they tend to...
You don't know what they're going to say.
I don't know what they're going to do. I always know what the left is going to do. I actually never know what the conservatives are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
I'd rather not get there, but, it's tough.
SB Tactical actually weighed in on this, and this is in Truth About Guns. Let me get that up on the screen for everyone.
Because the Honey Badger has an SB... I thought it said it had a SB Tactical brace on it.
I don't know if that's an SB Tactical. Could be, yeah. SB Tactical.
It almost looks like the end cap is the SB Tactical part, but none of the rest is SB Tactical.
That's possible. Yeah, SB Tactical stands with Q, LLC against ATF Honey Badger ruling, and is disappointed. So it says here, SB Tactical, in conjunction with the Firearms Regulatory Accountability Coalition, FRAC, and the National Rifle Association, stands in solidarity with QLLC and is disappointed by the recent ATF actions in classifying their Honey Badger pistol as a short-barreled rifle. This classification is based on a seemingly arbitrary set of criteria and promises to create unnecessary confusion and anxiety amongst millions of legal gun owners and the industry as a whole. The ATF is saying in part that they will not evaluate an accessory as a standalone product, but the characteristics of the entire firearm influence their decision. Characteristics such as optics chosen, magazine capacity, and how the gun is marketed or length of pull will holistically determine a firearm's NFA classification. Yeah.
Like I said about how they were marketing it.
So because of that, that was going to be the next question I was going to ask. Does that affect people that bought SB Tactical braces and put them on their own pistols, AR pistols, AK pistols,
ATF
or whatever
has
you've got,
so much room here to do whatever they want that it's dangerous, and we can't have that.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know. Now, when you explained it there, it seems like this only affects, and what Walter's saying, this would only affect the Honey Badger for now.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to set precedents.
Of course, yeah. This they could go after. Is it because it's a telescoping brace rather than side folding or fixed? Is it what's the reason? Is it because Q shoulders it all the time? Oh,
well, here we go again. We started with this whole thing a while back and went this big circle. Yep. And now we're right back to where we started with all these unanswered. They were already answered. Unanswered questions.
Again, exactly.
And again.
And Brian Quick says, I wonder if a competitor to Q made a complaint to the ATF. Kevin Brittingham can be a polarizing person, and I would not put it past his haters to draw attention to Q from the ATF. That happens, Walt. I think you might know a little something.
Yeah, the gun industry does not look. It's not one big happy family.
I've said this before. Lots of bitches. Lots of bitches in the gun industry.
Lots of hoes out there in the firearms industry.
Yeah, bitches and hoes.
And I think a lot of people forget that just because you're in the firearms industry doesn't mean you care about the Second Amendment. All the time.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it behooves you to care about it, it's like, well, if I make this type of gun and I just have the lobbyists eliminate my competitor's type of gun, but not mine, I'm okay with that. Rather than let's not put any regulations on firearms and then we can make whatever we want.
Yes, dog eat dog, I think.
Yeah.
Or like myself, where I had something happen to me, and then I look around through other people in the industry, and it's like, they didn't get a letter. Why didn't they get a letter? So do I make a stink about it, and be the bitch in the industry, or just mind my own business?
Well, I think that depends on who you're talking to, Walter. So just for a little bit of backstory, if folks are watching, they don't understand that. So Walter makes a 50 BMG upper bolt action that goes on an AR-15 lower, and he's been doing that for a while. That upper, you could buy that upper, and then put it on any AR-15 lower. The AR-15 lower will be your serialized. Would be your actual firearm. That would be what would be serialized. The upper, not so much, until some stuff went down and magically the ATF found itself knocking on your door. You want to take it from there?
Well, all the people who made uppers, 50 caliber uppers, got a letter. Me and 3 or 4 other people. That now your upper might be a firearm. You might want to get it looked at. Well, all that meant is your firearm's an upper and you better stop. Because we met with them in D.C. with
you trying to fight it. You spent some money on lawyers, right?
Adam Kraut and I forget the other guy's name. Good lawyer that does Second Amendment gun rights stuff.
Prince.
Yeah.
Eric Prince.
And and we met with them and we sat and talked and discussed things, and everybody was smiling and typical stuff. But in the end, it changed nothing.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily the end. I think that, look, when I speak to a lot of people about that, Walter, and I know how the industry is, and I 100% agree with you, that there's definitely a lot of haters out there. But there's people I spoke to in the industry that really felt like you should have kept fighting that. Obviously, that's expensive, and they said, hey, maybe you guys, we can do something to put the money together to fight this, because everyone suffers in that. Maybe we haven't seen it yet, but the ATF is going to use that. Especially if you let it go to go after other people.
The brace thing is different than my issue because there's not many people that do what I do. Right. But with braces, a lot of the big people, including Remington and Springfield Armory and all these big names, all make braces now for ARs, for bolt action rifles, for everything else, shotguns. So you can't tell me that they everybody can't come together as one and fight it, or is everybody
I think we should. I think that's what this. I think this is what this article is talking about. Let me go back here and show it. What's the name of this organization that they mentioned in here? FRAC, which is the Firearms Regulatory Accountability Coalition. I believe that they are trying to get together and fight several. There's some different organizations out there. When I actually had a conversation with the owner of SB Tactical, and we talked about this kind of thing a little bit, and he said that he believes that everyone needs to get together and fight all these things. And he wasn't saying just fight what the ATF is doing with the pistol brace, what the ATF try to do to you, what they're trying to do to other people, where they're trying to create law, what they did with the bump stock ban.
Fire stuff.
Yeah. We had to get together and push back on these guys so we could establish the law, because clearly the ATF here has no clue of what they're doing.
Well, I think that's kind of where you can say that this is a weakness, if you want to call it the gun industry, or I think it's kind of bigger because the gun industry kind of falls more to the conservative side or the right or whatever you want to call it. When the left gets really upset about something, well, look at right now with woke culture and all that stuff and Black Lives Matter. Every company supports that, every single one. They've given hundreds of millions of dollars to that. It's insane that you can't get one industry whose very survival is dependent on the whims of, basically whatever the political winds are that year or whatever happens, doesn't try to put themselves together and really help each other. Because there's nobody else there. Like the other side has billionaires and millionaires who are willing to throw down major cash. We have small time donors. Like I think between Johanna and I, we probably give $200 or $300 away every year between FPC, GOA, all those memberships. But That's a lot of money for us, but that's not a lot of money compared to what, you know, Bloomberg throws down $100 million. That's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're in trouble. And I think we need to get our collective heads out of our butts, especially the major companies, because I think that they're dealing with a paradigm. I think they're trying to deal with business the way that it was 30 years ago, and they haven't realized that this isn't how the game is played anymore. Politics has always been a game about money, but now PR with social media, combining that and fighting a narrative is so much more important than it used to be. And you can only fight that. It's a divide and conquer industry. So if they're not together, they're just going to get taken out one by one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Walt.
Let me explain to Armament Axis why ATF, they look at my upper and they see a bolt action rifle. It has, you know, it's got a receiver and the barrel screws into the barrel extension and yada, 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 and you operate it by hand. They don't consider an AR-15 upper. If I built a 50 caliber semi-automatic upper for an AR-15 lower, and it does not use, I don't use my hands to operate it, it would not be a serialized number part because it's operated from the gas of the gun.
Yeah, but you can, so unless your 50 is not working correctly, and I'm not sure how that would happen, you could push that bolt forward all you want to, it doesn't fire. Right?
Well, in itself, by itself, no.
Yeah.
There's flaws in their determination. Yes, there are. There's flaws in their determination. They said some things in their determination, and you just go, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I think they're just being used. They're just being used. And I think even on the Republican side, like right now, the president should be in control of the ATF. And I think he's just letting the ATF do what they want to do. Maybe it looks that way. But technically, Republicans, maybe even the president, want them doing this nonsense that they're doing. They're not reining them in.
Mm-hmm. And for me, from what my stuff, for me to fight this, it would probably be real quick, like $100,000, and that's because of lawyers. That's not because. So you got to go to federal court, you got to file, you got and on, and that might take a couple 3 years, and in the end, you might not get anywhere.
Well, here's the thing: if you win that, and I know you don't have the $100,000 to go in, but if you win that fight, Walt, everyone wins, and on top of that, they're going to have to pay your expenses because they made you have to make the fight.
I agree. I don't know how you say this. Once again, there's only 3 or 4 relatively small companies that make uppers. I don't even know if half of them are still doing it. It's a weird situation. You know, do I spend money to fight something, or do I just say, okay, have your serial numbers, and I'm going to go do something else?
No, I understand. Right? I'm not trying to put any extra pressure on you, Walt. I get it. You're a small mom and pop manufacturer. It's a massive decision for you that none of us could understand if we don't pay your bills and see what it is every day for you to keep your business running. Without a doubt, man. It just makes me mad that they got away with doing that to you. You spent money, and I feel like somewhere in the future they'll do this again. You know, let me just get this in quick because I see Mac is out there and he made this comment, Military Arms Channel. ATF is doing this right now for political reasons. This is to make the Republicans look bad just before the election. It's the same MO they pulled on their ruling just before SHOT a couple of years ago. And he says the ATF has no director. There are political activists running the show right now because there's no one to shut them down. They're leaderless. You have a bunch of Obama-era lawyers doing this. And I know I know that Trump has been trying to get someone, what is it called again?
Confirmed?
Confirmed. Yeah, he's trying to get someone confirmed. And I think he made some kind of, there's some kind of weird appointment he made of people who are already inside of there. So.
Yeah, but the one guy he picked was anti-gun. You know, this guy that he chose to do this before. You know, it's like, what is this so hard to find?
I think that's why the Republicans resisted. I think it's a woman right now, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. I don't have the ATF
I'm not
right
sure.
in front of me. Mac will probably know a lot better than I do. I think we talked about this before. It sucks that this is happening, and I really feel like and I know it's expensive and I know it's tough, but if money has to be spent, I'll go back to what Rolando was saying. This is where it needs to be spent. And for sure, Walter, like you said, the brace thing is a bigger thing because everyone has braces. Some of us have a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot more. There's a lot more people involved.
Yeah.
There's a lot more companies
Especially,
involved.
see, I think braces will be the hill that people will die on and are willing to fight for. Because think of how many brand new gun owners you have, especially the last year and the last few years, and how huge the pistol industry has gotten these past few years. I mean, look at it seems like
everything.
every company's manufacturing a pistol now or some PCC, and it's compatible with an SB tactical brace.
And people might not be paying as much. Like the ATF is seeing, by the way, these numbers, and people might not be paying for that SBR tax stamp like they used to. Max says Canterbury was anti-gun as hell. That was his previous attempted appointment.
And you know the whole brace SBR thing can be settled in one quick way. Just do away with the SBR crap.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's from the 30s, guys. You can buy a Glock mag with a 30-round magazine. Do you really need a short barrel? Ooh, a short barrel rifle? Oh my God, with a high capacity magazine.
But they're more likely to say that you can't have these things. They're more likely
they'll just say you can't have anything.
Yeah, they're more likely to close out pistols, and they're more likely to say, guess what? We don't even want people to have SBRs.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Walter.
No, but once again, you just what they want. Who are they?
I agree with that, but if we don't,
who are they to say what you want or I want?
But if we don't fight them, this goes back to the funding, right? These aren't the lawyers from when you have a car accident that work for you, and basically, they get paid no matter what, right? Even if
that's a whole nother subject. Yeah,
this is not that. Like lawyers here have to be paid, and I know you dropped some money. You probably don't want to talk about it, but you dropped some serious money on when you got that lawyer, and that was just the initial phase. But I've spoken to people, like I've spoken to Jay, the owner of Franklin Armory, and he says that in his opinion, if we don't fight these battles, it's gonna close out the ability of what could be manufactured. This is really what they're doing and what people can own, possess. Right, so we have to fight the battles, even though it's expensive, because it doesn't make sense to just keep making the guns that are there now, and they're just making up rules, So we have to somehow fight these battles and make the Supreme Court or whoever it is pay attention and go, okay, we have to stop this, or we're going to actually have to fight the battle at some point.
Yeah, and even if like this is unenforceable if they decide to do this. And even then, if a lot of people are like, well, shall not comply, they're not going to be able to enforce it. You still don't want to have to basically, what is it? Back alley pistol shooting ranges. All right, that's it. Where you can only shoot your pistol if you hide it from everybody and all that stuff. They'll never find me out here in the desert, but that's not the point. The point is it shouldn't have to be that way. So that's why we have to come together and we have to fight on this.
Yeah, military. Max says there are millions upon millions of brace owners. They can't simply ban them without repercussions. That's the argument in the Q lawyer's letter. What ATF is attempting to do is technically illegal. They've done it before.
Like I said, this whole issue is not so much it's not just ATF. It's all these government bureaucrats and agencies that say you can't collect water on your own property. That kind of stuff. You can't do this. You can't do that. And if you do it, you're going to jail. Well, I thought you had to pass a law, like a legal thing to put me in jail. Oh, no. Yeah. So that's what they don't want to have decided in the Supreme Court.
And Q didn't say, from what I read, I don't know, some people might have read in deeper to this. Q just said they're discontinuing this. I don't know if people are now in a different classification, but I have no idea what's going to happen for the folks who already have that Badger with that pistol brace. Max says it will also bring up the issue of Chevron deference, which is a much bigger issue. The brace issue may force the SCOTUS to decide on this. This would stop the ATF and others from making up laws.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
earlier.
About.
Yeah.
And from what I understood that issue was supposed to be brought up in the court. I don't know what happened to it. As with all the EPA stuff, I always bring up the EPA because they're a bunch of Gestapo people too,
Mm-hmm.
and they work like secret, and it's just crazy. It's out of control, is what it is. So
Yeah. And then Max says what Walt is. He said what Walt is talking about is Chevron deference.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah, just so we can get that
Thank
in
you,
here.
Mac, for the technical. Because I'm not the lawyerese in there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I do believe that I know
Okay.
Mac is involved in this. We got John coming in here, by the way.
John Crump is
Yeah,
here.
I think
Listen.
Mac's case is still going on the bump stock, right? I'm not. I think it is. I know the bump stock thing is still out there.
Yeah, it's still going through the courts,
Yeah.
I guess.
It just sucks, and I don't know what the likelihood that the Supreme Court is going to take up these things. And it almost seems like they're just on the verge. To me, what they're doing is really, really dangerous. Someone's asking, Bricks, I think, says, so who has the oversight on ATF? And Max says, Bricks, ATF has no oversight. So
Nobody.
No one's
Yeah.
willing to do it.
yeah,
That's the problem. I would imagine that the legislative branch has that over that. I would think, or not. Or the
No, executive.
It's the executive branch.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yes.
once again, it just takes somebody to do it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
takes the president.
And this goes into all alcohol. Why do we regulate alcohol like we do from the 30s? Why cigarettes? I thought cigarettes were bad for you, but they still collect taxes on cigarettes. What's going on there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we're not actually dealing with because a lot of times with these two political parties, they're jostling over who has the power to, like, anytime you're going to go in there and fix this stuff, they all want to add stuff in there and have a whole bunch of control.
They want to have amendments and all their money added and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah. So, listen, I don't want to switch too drastically here, except we got John in here for the last hour, and this is, I think something that's also important for us to talk about here, since we have John Crump joining us of AmmoLand as well as GOA. And if you look on AmmoLand News, you'll see this article. I'll bring it up here and give you guys just a quick rundown of this while John's getting ready. It says FEC complaint filed against Facebook for federal election campaign violations. This is from Dean Weingarten. Shout out to him at AmmoLand News. It says journalist John Crump and Gun Owners of America filed an FEC complaint against Facebook, AFP, and the Biden/Harris campaign. The complaint alleges several violations of campaign finance law and foreign election interference. And it goes on into the whole thing that's going on there. My understanding is that that Facebook is employing a French French AP to background check stuff going
It's kind of like the French AP.
Yeah, break it down for us, John. Tell us what's happening.
It's a news organization that's funded by the French government and actually have French government officials sitting on the board. The majority of the board is made up of French government officials. A while ago, Cam Edwards, who I talked to today, and Rachel Malone both wrote articles about Kamala Harris's amicus brief that she filed in the Heller case, which said that the individual does not have a right to own a firearm. Well, both Edwards and Rachel Malone wrote about that. All their stuff was marked as being false. So I was like, this is kind of weird. Let me look into who marked it false. So I looked, it was the AFP, French-funded news organization. I started thinking back. 2016, they were accused of letting the Russians interfere in the election, foreign interference.
Uh-oh.
And it looks like they're doing the same with the French.
Yeah,
right?
I thought
Which
Nancy
is
Pelosi didn't like that kind of stuff.
Well, apparently, if it is her people, then she's all right with it. So what I did was I contacted Facebook, posted a comment from Facebook on, hey, why are you letting the French do this? Instead of responding back, they banned me. Not only that, but they also severely limited some GOA groups. Also, when I just posted the amicus brief with no context, my lawyer, Rob Olson, suggested that I post the amicus brief with nothing, no context, and see what happens. When I did that, they marked it false and saying it was a hoax. but it was linked to the Supreme Court website.
Yeah,
Or
they don't care.
SCOTUS blog, actually.
Yeah.
So in the end, they lifted the false markings on Cam's article and Rachel's article, but at the cost of my account, I was banned for life.
Yeah, you were banned for life, and you're a former. Let me just make sure I get this right. You formerly worked for Facebook.
Yeah, I formerly worked at Facebook, so it's like, hey, wouldn't you like to sue a place that you worked at in the past?
Yeah.
Or not sue, but file a criminal election complaint against them.
Mm-hmm.
Federal.
A question about filing involved in that.
Say that again.
Is that lawyerese when you start filing complaints? When you start filing complaints about when you file complaints to the FCC or FT, whatever it is.
FEC.
Mm-hmm. Is that something Joe can do, or is that a lawyer thing?
You really need to have a lawyer. It's not exactly cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's several thousand to file.
Yeah. So there's a fee for filing.
What is that? What does the several thousands cover? Why do they charge $5? Just to prevent people from doing it? Is that what the?
Well, you have to be turned in a certain like a certain form, like a legalese form, where you say this is all the information. It's a lot of legalese that goes into it. Plus, you have to get signed affidavits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then, what's the So from let's go from here. I'm sure people have questions. Rolando, Walter, myself, but from here, you guys filed this, right? So you guys put all the info together, paid the fee, got the lawyers, paid the fees, filed it. Now what happens here?
Well, the thing is, the FEC they serve at the pleasure of the White House.
Okay.
So basically, Trump gets to pick who looks over everything.
Okay.
Oh, and he's after fake news, folks.
Yeah.
Okay. How long do you think it's going to be before we know whether, what happens?
Probably in a month we should know something. Basically, what's going to happen is Facebook got served with a copy of the complaint saying, hey, there has been a criminal complaint filed against your company for election interference. I'm not going to get my account back. I have no doubts of that. But it might raise the profile of what's going on. It might cost Facebook a couple $1 million, which is nothing to them. But it will also shine the spotlight on what they are doing.
Okay. So my understanding is Facebook has to answer this, and the White House has to pick someone to take a look at this, right?
Well, the White House doesn't have. I mean, they can always just punt it and say, "Hey, we don't care," right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I kind of doubt that they will. I don't know. I just have a feeling that they won't. That they won't punt it.
Okay.
And we have a good feeling. My lawyers in GOA and everyone has a good feeling that they're not going to punt this.
So
there's also a bunch of senators and congressmen who are very interested in this as well.
Okay.
Because, Facebook's going to be going up in front of Congress again fairly shortly.
Okay, so let me just say this. First of all, we got close to 100 people. Please smash the thumbs ups right now. We appreciate that. That helps us all out here. So please do that. I would like to know everyone's, what you guys think is the likelihood. I'm going to start with Rolando, that the White House is actually going to take a look at this. What do you think? The odds are high or low that they're going to do that?
I would say the election is 27 days from now. I am not sure how busy they are with a lot of other things that they are having to deal with. And my concern is if they do not do it by November 3rd and the election does not go their way, will it ever be looked at again? That's
well, it doesn't have to be looked by November. But I'm not going to say too much, but I'm pretty sure that they will look at it.
Okay, Walt, what do you think? Let's get Walt's opinion on this.
Well, I don't think, Trump has a thing for fake news, and he's been a target on Facebook and these other social media groups. People that post about him have been targeted. So I would probably say the odds are they'll take a look at it.
Okay. I'm just going to say that I think right now it's me looking at it, I think, yes, there's a political reason why Trump may want to say, here's proof that that there's all this fake news going on. They're controlling things. I think even today, Twitter blocked Trump from posting certain things. Facebook deleted stuff. That happened today. But I would say that it's 60-40, 60% that they're not going to do anything about it, even though I don't have John's knowledge. But the reason why I'm saying that is because this doesn't have anything to do with Trump personally. To me, this is one of the things I feel about Trump. He doesn't care about any of this unless it's directly aimed at him. So I don't know. That's just my feeling of these kinds of things, that a lot of this gets, when it's happening to everyone else out there, he's not really worried about it. If they do it to him, then he's worried about it.
Well, I think he's gonna think that they're doing it to him because they are helping out his opponents.
Okay, and you think that's gonna swing it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Walt, you gonna say something there?
The board split 50-50. Our board, or it's 4 here, 2 4, 2 maybe. But I agree with that whole. They are politically, that would be a bonus for him to.
Well, Lola's asking this question. She said, "What came of the survey Trump put out when he was affected?"
Remember?
Yeah.
Eric, IV was gonna fill it out.
Yeah.
All these people were gonna fill it
Yeah,
out.
I remember Eric from IV talking about it. I remember lots of people talking about it. We were all optimistic that something was going to come out of that whole survey that went around. What happened to that? Anyone know?
I wasn't optimistic about it.
No.
Not like this.
Okay, this one you're optimistic about. Okay, but can you tell us why? Is there...
Personal feelings.
Okay. John is just like...
He's got his sources inside the beltway.
He's ice grilling me right now. He's like, come on, really? Okay, so listen, I hope they do. My hope is that they do, because we all are affected by this.
Well, I mean, it's not only even if they don't do anything, we can still get the word out what these big social media companies do.
Yeah, I think it's shameful that an American election, people are commenting, you're putting facts up there. You're actually a reporter. You're putting facts up there. They're fact checking what you're putting up there. They're letting the French do that. Okay. And that's not somehow, interfering with an election, that we've got Democrats up in arms, that there's other places. Imagine if Facebook went to Russia to fact check. Well, I guess Democrats would be fine with that. They wouldn't be mad. If they went to China to fact check something, they're going to Russia. They're not mad. You're affected by that. And no one thinks that, outside of us or people who think like us, no one thinks that this is terrible. Look, I remember when the CDC put out that 94% of the people who were all the people who were affected by COVID, the ones that actually died, what was it? Only 6% of those people
had directly COVID-19.
Yeah, was just strictly COVID-19. The other 94% had multiple different reasons, like 2 or 3 different additional contributing reasons that, other than COVID-19 of why they died, right? They had other complications.
The comorbidities.
Yeah, comorbidities, exactly. That's what I was fumbling, searching around in the darkness. So
and it vanished off the interweb, didn't it?
Well, here's the funny thing. So I took what the CDC put out. When I posted it, I went to the CDC website. I screen captured what the CDC put out. I posted it on Facebook. I didn't say anything about COVID. I mean, sorry, not Facebook, Instagram. Instagram read the picture.
Yep.
And they saw that and they fact-checked me on it. And put a link to the CDC. I'm like, why are you guys even doing this? I'm putting up what the CDC published. Why'd you have to drop me in this category when I'm putting up exactly a screen capture from what the CDC published?
Well, the interesting thing about the Cam Edwards article and the Rachel Malone article, Facebook says, hey, we didn't remove it. It was still there. but yet they put an overlay over top of it where you can actually see the headline, but you couldn't really click on it. If you clicked on it, it would take you to the AFP website. So, like, we didn't remove it, but you made it impossible to actually click on.
Yeah. There's a lot of this going on. So right now, I don't know if let me ask Walter or Rolanda if you guys have questions before I get more stuff out there, bro.
No.
Okay, Walter, you got questions of
Nope,
of
I'm
John
good.
on this? Okay, John. So right now, are we just playing the waiting game?
Yeah, it's not going to be any time like in the next week or two.
Okay, did you get any response from Facebook?
No, they're not going to respond. Their lawyers are going to respond.
Do you have any
and
inside
they're not going to
sources,
respond to me.
anonymous people that can tell us what Facebook might think of that over there? Was Zuckerberg, was his breakfast interrupted? When he was out on the range shooting his multi-million-dollar guns that he has, did someone walk out there and say, "Oh, we're getting sued by gun owners of America"?
Hey, those guns are not supposed to be known.
Oh, we know about it. But because it's a weird thing. Well, I don't know if John wants to talk about it or not, but I've heard that Zuckerberg is a gun guy.
He has guns.
Yeah. So, well, maybe, I don't know if we can... If you have guns, you're a gun guy. I don't know if it matters whether or not you believe... No?
No, I wouldn't give you that classification just because you have guns, you're a gun guy.
Yeah, because that's like saying that somebody that buys exotic cars and races them on the track still thinks, I don't want the rabble to drive cars on the road, but I can drive them.
Yeah, but that person is still a car guy, and I think he's still a gun guy if he likes guns, to where he's buying so many guns that... Look, Zuckerberg has more guns than your average Republican conservative politician.
Right? Well, he's got more money, too.
I think
proportional.
did it exactly right.
Yeah, he's a gun guy, but not a rights guy.
Yeah. Well, the issue with Facebook is it's not really with Mark so much. I think it's Sheryl Sandberg who actually runs the company who actually puts into place a lot of these very liberal policies.
Yeah.
I think if Mark was still running the day-to-day, I don't think it would be as liberal as it is. But Sheryl Sandberg...
Because he's too busy shooting guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many guns does Sheryl Sandberg have? Do you know?
Probably none.
None? Okay.
I know she's not a fan of guns.
No? Okay.
Well, I will say that. Like, she's like a every down type person.
Oh. Okay.
Where at least Mark isn't. I wouldn't say he's anti-gun, but Sheryl, I would say, is anti-gun.
Yeah. It's interesting. When I was talking to YouTube about the ban that we have, like, I can't hold up, and by the way, YouTube algorithm or whatever, that's clearly a, rubber polymer gun, I should say. When they were talking to me about this, there were about 3 or 4 lawyers on the call when they were talking to me. And there was one lawyer, she said, "Oh, me and my husband, we're gun people. We love guns." And I was like, "Really? You're gun people, you love guns. Why are you doing this to me then?" That's the funny thing about it. Like, they're always these people are always trying to say, "Oh, we're gun folks. We're into guns."
There is actually a gun culture at Facebook. There's actually a secret Facebook group on regular Facebook with former and current Facebook gun guys, and there's some really recognizable names in that group.
Okay. Yeah.
I was in that group before.
I think you should write a tell-all book once this is all sorted out.
No, because those guys are my friends. I mean, those guys didn't do anything. They have actually fought for me when I got banned.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's true.
That's how I got the what's called an oops ticket, which is like an internal appeal, where it said I couldn't appeal, but there's always a way. You can do it internally.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Okay.
And that was still rejected. So they did fight with me, even the people that I don't agree with, because there's a lot of like flaming liberals in that group. I'm not like a big liberal guy at all. But even though that they are liberals, even to the point of
Yeah,
being
if anything,
like
you're a
communist,
flaming gun
communists.
guy. But people can take
Yeah,
that however
but
they want to.
yeah, they were there was like
Just a little joke.
openly socialist and openly communist people in that group, but they're the gun people, and they did step up and say, "Hey, this is wrong." You know, he's right.
Hmm. Did you
But
hear
yeah, it
from?
didn't
We
matter.
had a guy from Facebook. I think you were on the show with him. Gone totally out of my brain, but
Chuck Rossi.
Chuck Rossi, who helped me get my Facebook page back. Shout out to him. Did you hear anything from him that you could tell us? I mean, I'm sure there might be some things
Yeah,
in there you can.
I'll tell you, he went to bat for me too, and they basically said, "No, we don't like this guy. He's not coming back."
Wow.
Never had a warning, never had anything on my account. Just
Yet.
Wow.
That's how it is.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you pushed the wrong
Yeah.
buttons.
yeah, pissed someone off, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
whoever I pissed off is really pissed off right now.
Yeah. I'm just
Well,
gonna,
why not?
yeah. I
They
mean,
got nothing left to lose now.
yeah. Bring the fight to
Somebody,
them.
yeah, somebody said, why do you want to poke the bear? And my response was, the bear already ate me, so
Right.
Yeah. Now you're just trying to cut your way out of the
It
stomach.
did more than eat you, man.
that's what I said.
Yeah.
The bear ate me, so
What's the
so
name
now-
of
now
that?
I'm
What's
just
the
trying
name of
to-
that thing with
wait back
what
up.
was that movie? Reverence? Is it Reverence?
With Leonardo
Yeah,
DiCaprio,
with DiCaprio. Yeah.
where he played Hugh Glass.
Yeah, where the bear basically,
I never saw that movie.
the bear kind of like bear raped him or something. Yeah. I would say it was more serious what they did to you than just eating you. Yeah, I think it was a little bit more than that. To do that to someone like yourself, making that kind of a point, right? And then just say, no, we're never letting this guy back on. That's some, like, that's really, shots
got to 'em.
fired.
You
Well,
got
Well,
look-
they not only killed my public page. I had a public page and I had a personal page. I like to keep those things separate.
Mhm.
But they killed my personal page as well.
Okay.
you became
Yeah,
a
so it's,
non-person.
persona
as
non
I
grata
say.
right there. But
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're seeing it more and more with what they're doing. Like Trump today, said something on Facebook about how how he beat COVID, and think of it like how 100,000 people can die from the flu or whatever. He compared that, and they're like, "Oh, you're comparing it to the flu. That's a myth. We got to ban him." And it's like he's just giving his opinion and what he went through. Like, how can you ban him for that? Or even look at our friend Rhonda Mary. Rhonda Mary's account got
on
suspended
Twitter.
on Twitter.
That's
It's like, oh, so she poked a bear there, obviously. So you get too dangerous or you give opinions that they don't want, and then they take them out. That's how it is.
Yeah.
If you don't poke the bear, you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to poke the bear. I mean,
Yeah,
who
you
wants
sound
to
like
live in a
Mr.
world?
Guns and Gear with that statement.
No, but who wants to live in a world where you don't poke bears and you don't rattle cages?
Except I
if
wouldn't
no one hates
actually
you
poke
and
an
everyone-
actual bear, and I wouldn't rattle the cages of an actual bear or.
Well, if it was an actual bear, I'd just shoot it.
Well, if you want to talk about bears,
Mhm.
I got some.
Shoot it.
If you want to talk about some bears, I have some FOIA stuff that we FOIA stuff on bears.
Oh,
Why?
bears.
Who knows?
Uh-oh.
Well, what we found out is the bear repellent stuff usually fails.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. How does a 44 Magnum work?
44 Magnums usually work.
Yeah.
But-
okay. I've seen a
There's a lot
380.
of,
I've seen a 380. The Fort Scott Munitions guys have shared some info on them taking out a black bear with a 380, which was I was like, what? But
I think they said most major calibers actually worked in bear encounters because a lot of times it'll scare the bear off too anyway.
yeah, loud
They get
noises.
hit and they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Wow.
trust it against a brown bear or something like that, but
Yeah, or a bear that's
Well,
charging you, you're gonna have to put him
Yeah.
down if he's in motion.
Yep.
Well, I read through every bear attack in the last 10 years in the United States, and there's actually a lot of them. And everyone that they used a firearm, they're like, oh, no one was hurt.
Yeah.
And I'd say about 70% of the ones with bear spray, people got eaten.
Oh.
Or mauled.
Or mauled, yeah.
It would piss off the bear.
Yeah.
Especially those brown bears, man.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the monsters out there. Okay, let's get to some other stuff here while we have time. Lola put on here. She wants to know what's your thoughts on Q before we switch over to anything else. Have you been following what's going on with the ATF and Q so far as the Honey Badger? Speaking of bears, which a Honey Badger is
Okay,
not even
well,
a
there were
bear.
a couple different types of cues that are in the news. There's the Trump cue because now Facebook, we talked about Facebook, they went back and they banned not only people who espouse conspiracy theory, but anyone who had anything to do with Q on their page.
Oh, QAnon?
Yeah, QAnon.
Yeah, QAnon. So like, even
Okay.
if you just like wrote like "Save the Children," your account's probably gonna be gone.
Oh. Oh, really?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
that and the Q thing, which we talked about earlier, I looked at the Honey Badger, and the only thing I can see on it is a pistol brace. And I know we talked about this a while ago, probably like a year ago, where my inside source at the ATF, but he never could give me any documentation. So I really couldn't say anything, but now I'm taking this as probably a good sign that he was right, enough so that I'm confident with saying something. But the ATF was seriously looking at pistol braces, and they were planning to make a move on it.
Okay.
And I actually have some documentation that I haven't looked through yet that was just sent over to me right before I came on, so I haven't
Okay.
had a chance.
So we're probably just looking at the first volleys in this story, the first shots from ATF, you're saying?
Yeah, if the email is correct, and it's the same guy I always get my stuff from, so he has inside information. So I'm going to look through the documents tonight. So I might have a story up on it tomorrow morning, depending on what the documents say.
That's going to be big.
But
If that really happens, if they really go after the other stuff, it's going to be. And I don't want anyone to get. I'm not trying to make anyone get all crazy and, oh no,
don't throw your stuff away
my
yet.
pistol brace makes me a criminal. Believing in America and the Constitution, that makes you a criminal according to these people. So don't worry.
I wonder if they would, based on what Tim from Military Arms Channel was saying earlier when he was in the chat about this being politically motivated. I wonder if they would make that move to just go all in on pistol braces before the election to get like gun owners just totally upset at Trump and be like, if you don't do something about this right away, like we're done with you.
Yeah. By the way, Mac has been saying some of this as well. Other people have been saying like, hey, these guys don't even really want this pistol brace to be out there.
No.
Yeah. We've heard that. We've heard that before, so it's not the first time. Like I said, smash the thumbs ups. Okay, I want to just switch over, unless, Walter, you've got something that you wanted to say or add. There's another story that's gun-related that I was going to go to here, if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. First, I got to find it. Hold on, let me see. Okay, here we go. So, this is on Newsweek, this article, if anyone's looking for it. Why is there an ammunition shortage in the U.S.? Firearm sales in the U.S. soared in 2020. Whether the broad spike in purchases was motivated by the new coronavirus pandemic, anti-racism protests, upcoming elections, or something else is debated, but both vendors and researchers have reported rising demand for the better part of this year. Additional analysis note ammunition sales rose more significantly than gun sales alone. Ammunition manufacturers are reporting backlogs as a result of elevated demand, and some suggest shortages could last until January. Now, here's I think it's safe to say we've all heard that, and even when we had Pete Brownell on, he said he thinks this could go till third quarter of next year. Here's the interesting thing that I want to get everyone's take on here. Let me go back to the story. So, Ammo Incorporated, an ammunition manufacturer based in Scottsdale, Arizona, is one of the most recent vendors to confirm a significant backlog due to heightened demand from consumers. Last week, the company said its backlogged orders amounted to $80.1 million in purchases as of August 31st, which set a new record after months of increasing numbers. Our record backlog has continued to grow with booked orders coming in all across channels, including commercial, export, military, and law enforcement, said Fred Wegenhals, the CEO at Ammo Incorporated, in a statement released on September 28th. First of all, what is Ammo Incorporated? Is that just the name? I've never
heard of it.
Anyone ever heard of Ammo Incorporated before? Okay, we gotta look it up now. Because these guys have, so they've got $80 million sitting there for people's money. That sounds weird to me, right? Okay, there's a homepage for Ammo Incorporated, by the way. Let's take a look at this.
I don't know if they got 80 million. They might have 80 million in orders. I can't see people giving them their money before they get their ammo. That's not a good.
So here's their website, and they have an Instagram, but I never really heard of Ammo Incorporated.
No.
And I don't know. JMC Brass Ammunition, Streak Visual Ammunition. I don't know what any of that is. Okay, if anyone's ever heard of this company, let me know. So there you go. And the idea that they have $80 million sitting around is weird.
Yeah, as Grandpa Keller would say, I don't believe it you.
Yeah, Rolando, I think Rolando was trying to say something, but you're muted.
No, I was like, if they've got $80 million, then what is a federal and major manufacturers like that sitting on?
Yeah,
like,
you don't.
Yeah, Walter, you seem to have a problem with them having this much money, but they haven't.
No, I'm just saying. Who do you order ammo on the promise you're going to get it?
Yeah.
You order it,
and
then once it ships.
Oh wait,
you pre-order
it.
You order it, and then when it ships, you pay for it.
Yeah. When it ships, I pay for it.
Right. You don't get. Hey, here's $100,000, and whenever you get around to it, give me my ammo.
Well, maybe they haven't collected the money, but maybe they have these orders.
They have orders for.
Promises for $80 million, maybe.
Yeah, $80 million. I mean, that doesn't really sound like they're gonna clear that up in January.
No.
One company having 80 million. So yes, I think like someone's saying what. I don't know if that was Rolando. I think that was Ro that said it.
Yeah.
What about Barnauls? they probably have 800 million then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Pete, hit me up.
Yeah. John, what do you think about all this? You're our investigative reporter. You ever heard of these guys? You think this is legit? You think this is actually a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of them, which I feel is kind of weird. But Ammo Inc. Is probably I don't know. It's just kind of weird. You're gonna send me down a rabbit hole of researching stuff again. I'm already researching the last stuff that you have me researching.
I'm always sending John stuff to go figure out.
Yeah, Hank calls me up and is like, "Hey, you need to look into this." And I'm like, "All right, I'll look into it when I get time." A couple days later.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to look into this yet? No, Hank.
Oh, now you know Walter's pain.
My pain.
Yeah, Walter hears this with me all the time, and anything related to his stuff, I'm like, "Hey, what happened, man?"
They're like, "Man, you should write a story about it." And Hank's like, "I don't have time for that."
Yeah. No. Listen, I would love to spend all my time writing stories. I can't, but there's always info coming at me like crazy. There's always people let me just get, this is just a little sidetrack here. So for example, Sam Andrews, right? He makes Andrews Custom Holsters. Apparently, I don't know if this is still going on. Apparently his phone stopped working today. Someone immediately calls me. They're like, "Hey, I'm calling Sam Andrews. I can't get through." Says the phone is disconnected.
What am I supposed to do?
Well, I'm supposed to figure out what happened.
Hank knows everybody.
And this is because I put my info out there and people could actually call me. So this guy, I don't know who he is. He just called me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, hang up. I'll call them." I called them. The phone wasn't working, and I'm not even sure what happened with it. I know I emailed Sam and I texted some of his people over there to see what's up. I'm sure it's just some kind of mistake. They got disconnected, but I'm just trying to tell you that immediately happened. Someone
No,
calling
I
through
mean,
there
you've
saying-
helped out a lot of people, too.
Yeah.
You've
So-
helped out a lot of people, too.
Yeah. So I don't complain about it, but it's things come at me. So we're always
Besides
trying to
the crazy guy that you gave me, who started texting me like every freaking day.
Well, that happens too, but better you than me.
Every day, I helped him out one time, and it's just
Oh,
like,
he was harassing us in the chat. I know exactly who you're talking about.
yeah, I know. It's like, and he's like, yeah, did you stop responding to him? I was like, dude, he would send me like 15 emails and like literally
3
like
minutes.
15, 20 texts a day.
Right.
You need to look at this.
Yeah.
And most of it was like BS. 99.9% of it was, besides the one story that he did have, the rest was all BS. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
please, if you're going to bring things to us, try to filter it before it gets to us so that we could. I really do want to help people, but, if you are some kind of crazy convicted felon, don't call us telling us you're being unfairly
prosecuted or persecuted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
know
that's
you're a
happened
bad
before,
guy,
too.
don't call us because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get John to check you out.
I will run a criminal background check him.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's happened before, right? Where you brought me some guy who said, "Oh, he's saying that he's unjustly being denied, blah blah blah." But then I ran and he had like 15 felonies or something like that.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Like what?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. By the way, you know what's funny, and this probably has nothing to do with anything. That NFAC video that we did yesterday, John, and we put up, YouTube limited that thing.
I figured they
And they
would.
said because we are showing violence and blood, there's none of that in there.
There's no blood in there.
No, there's an accidental discharge, which is not on camera. There's a guy who is hurt but shows no sign that's visible. We don't, so whatever. But I'm just, this is how stuff goes down. This is how stuff goes down. Lola says, I'm surprised that outside of gun stores, regular folks are trying to tying up their money to the tune of 80 million. Hell, I was mad when Amazon took my. I was mad. She put made when Amazon took my money for toilet paper. Yeah, Lola tried to order toilet paper from Amazon and never got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get
Lola
Lola's, but I mean, I got to.
You know what? Before the whole COVID thing is, I bought. You guys gonna laugh at me, but I bought 1,000 cases of toilet paper.
Wait.
Because I'm counting.
1,000 cases or 1,000
Cases
rolls?
or rolls?
Yeah.
No, cases.
Cases of how many?
They're like 48 rolls.
48 rolls in a case, and you bought 1,000?
I made money.
Well, that's all right. That's fine.
Yeah, that's good. How did you make the money?
COVID.
Okay, so you sold them back online?
Yep.
So how did you know this was coming?
I didn't. I just figured that if something was going to happen like this, then the first thing that was going to go was toilet paper. Because during snowstorms, toilet paper always goes.
Yeah.
So where did you put 1,000 cases, or was it like you had it on reserved on in your name or something?
No. I actually had it in I had it in a 1,500 square foot room. Everyone would come over and just laugh and say, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
Wow.
I
would have been doing all my live videos from that room.
I think I only got 50 cases left.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Well, they say it's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna start stocking up again.
Yeah.
That's the word. Whatever that means. Yeah.
Only you, John.
Yeah.
Only you.
Hey, it worked. But I got some stories I got a story for you that I'm gonna break that I haven't talked about anywhere.
Okay.
So during the whole COVID thing, I've been doing a lot of open records requests and FOIAs and stuff to see, what Giffords have been writing all these states about COVID. Giffords in every town and Moms Demand Action. Mm-hmm. They were all pushing. Every single one of them was pushing all these governors. They emailed the governors directly, and we have emails on all this. And they were all pushing these governors to pushing these governors to shut down gun stores during COVID. Mm-hmm. saying that it's a public health concern that these gun stores are open because of new gun buyers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a
Interesting.
danger to society because new gun buyers are buying guns from gun stores. So we need to shut down the gun stores during COVID to stop the new gun buyers.
So then it's probably safe to say that any governors that did that, they were pushed by these people, right?
Yeah, they were pushed, and that's why GOA sued a bunch.
Oh, okay.
And won.
What do you guys think about that?
I'm
so
not
there has
surprised
to
about
be
it at all.
there has to. I think there's got to be a little motivation behind that
Yeah,
push,
money
right?
trail, money trail.
There has to be. People don't do things for free.
No.
You know, I'm just
Well,
saying, that's all.
Well, here's something else. I also found that a bunch of states gave Giffords, for example, Virginia gave Giffords over $2 million in a grant to do like inner city violence prevention.
Wow.
Like $2.6
Yeah,
million.
we'll see how
to
much
Giffords.
money actually goes towards that program.
Yeah. By the way,
But
there's
we
over.
found it in New Jersey, and we found it in Virginia so far.
Okay.
So it's going to be in other states as well. I can almost guarantee you.
Wow.
But if you're
No
wondering who's funding these groups, it's not just Bloomberg, it's your state governments.
Wow. Yeah. By the way, listen, there's over 100 people out there. We've got 15 minutes left in the show. If everyone out there smashed the thumbs ups, we can hit 100 thumbs ups. Come on, guys.
Come on.
Let's
now.
do it. We
Don't
got
be
100
so.
people watching us. Come on, just smash the thumbs ups for us, okay? Even
Okay,
you
John,
dudes
I
that did
got.
thumbs down. Change your thumbs down to thumbs ups. I know you just watch us to hate us, but you didn't know this. You're actually working for us. You're actually we're renting space in your minds, and you're working for us, and we should get a thumbs up just based on that.
All right, you have 2 thumbs down. Now you're about to have 3.
No,
Just
smash the thumbs ups. Ups.
Okay,
do
I got
that.
the question of the day, John. Van Halen, up or down?
In what sense? Their music?
No, I mean a fan. You were a fan. You're familiar. You.
Oh, I'm very familiar with Van Halen,
Okay.
especially their older stuff with the original time they had David Lee Roth.
Yeah. So, you were a fan then.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: you ever heard of Shelly Thunder? Walter found that amusing.
Shelly Thunder. Is
Is
that
she a
something
porn
like
star?
WAP?
Is she a
You
porn
told
star?
me you never took.
Shelly Thunder is a reggae dancehall artist. She did Man Forget Koof. Remember, I was talking about this yesterday. Man Forget,
Yes,
Koof.
Goof.
Yeah, sometimes I Man Forget Koof. That's what's happening. Everyone's getting the Koof. That's why I'm saying it. Smash those thumbs ups just based off of us singing. We will keep singing if you don't do it. Okay, couple of things here that we do.
Hey, break up. Break up. You're a Shelly Thunder fan, right?
Yeah.
Break up.
Oh, that's one of her songs? I just know Man
Yeah.
Forget Koof. Yeah.
He's not a fan.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I played that song over and over and over again. I probably heard Break Up. Isn't that that's from a song that's already out there? They just reggaeized it. That's what a lot of reggae people did. They took, and
I have no
if
idea.
Van Halen had a hit song, they would take it and do the reggae version.
Jump, man. Jump, man.
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah. Absolutely. What's the name? Those 2 little kids did Jump. Remember what's the name of those 2 little kids that wore their pants backwards?
Crisscross.
Crisscross. Boom.
Crisscross,
There you go.
yep.
One's dead.
Yeah. Let's talk about this real quick because we've got 2 things we got to cover before we get out of here. Since we're not doing a show for the rest of this week, we'll be back next week. We're going to be in New Mexico running around doing stuff. The McCloskeys. So here it goes. This is Fox News. McCloskeys indicted on gun charges stemming from standoff at St. Louis mansion. Yeah, the couple's attorney called the charges bull caca.
Yep.
Mark and Patricia McCloskey were indicted Tuesday on charges of unlawful use of a weapon and tampering with evidence. According to their attorney, Al Watkins, the charge related to an incident that occurred in June when hundreds of Black Lives Matter protesters marched onto private street the McCloskeys live on. The McCloskeys went outside to confront the protesters. Mark had an AR-15 while Patricia had a semi-automatic pistol. You guys know all the details. What do you think?
Bullshit.
Well, if they were the mayor of Chicago, they would have people standing they would have cops on the
Police.
streets blocking protesters.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's interesting is that the protesters, there were some protesters who had potential charges against them. All that got dropped.
Of course.
Nothing got dropped against these guys. That pistol wasn't even functional. And I'm not, so listen, they did a lot of nonsense, right? But the pistol wasn't functional. The AR15, from what I hear, had no, the magazine was empty. And ultimately, no one got hurt, and they had the right to defend themselves on their own private property, right? Yet, they got indicted here. This seems like a waste of the people's money.
Well,
What evidence did they tamper with?
They didn't. I think we're talking about the police station they took apart
the
one
police,
of the guns
yeah.
that was non-functional.
The police tampered with evidence.
Yeah,
I thought
not
you were
the
saying they
McCloskeys.
did too. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think what this shows you, because this was a grand jury, which means that they brought it upon, a jury of our peers to say whether they should continue on with charges and then go to regular court. That tells you that you better start watching out for your neighbors, because you may do the right thing, but they're going to stab you in the back and take you to court,
Look,
and that's the real danger.
well,
that
you
we
gotta
have as
re-
gun
You
owners.
got two white folk and rich white folk living in a closed neighborhood on private streets. So you bring in a grand jury, a bunch of lesser fortunate folks, and it's easy to find out what'll happen.
Well, here's the thing. In a grand jury hearing, there's a famous saying that you can indict a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
Because in the grand jury hearing, you don't need to have a preponderance of evidence. It's not, beyond a reasonable doubt. It's could this have happened?
Yep.
Also, so the bar is set a lot lower, and you don't need like a unanimous decision or anything like that. And the person doesn't get to defend themselves at a grand jury hearing either. So it's very easy to get a grand jury to indict anyone.
If that's what you want to do. Like I said before, if you look at this article towards the bottom it says 9 protesters were charged with misdemeanor trespassing last month, but the city councilor's office eventually dropped the charges.
Of course.
And I feel like in the interest of what's best for the people who are paying taxes there, they should drop this against the McCloskeys as well. Obviously, the McCloskeys have the money to fight this, and they're going to fight it, and I feel like they're more likely going to win. And then
I hope
that's
they're
just
gonna
going to
win.
mean more money.
I hope
that
they
people
I hope
have to
they
pay.
sue them back for harassment or something, and they get a
No,
couple $1 million out of it.
They're gonna win, and St. Louis is going to have to pay their legal fees.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. But the DA can say, "I tried. It was the corrupt system that let them walk because they're rich white people, so they don't
Yep.
face the same justice." So
Justice
it's a
for all.
win-win. It's a win-win for the DA because she can push it either way.
And then
If she
she'll run
wins,
for mayor.
she's a hero,
Yeah.
and if she loses, it's just another example of the corruption of the
Injustice.
system
Injustice.
of injustice.
Yeah.
So
In the
either
end,
way,
the
it's a
people
win-win.
lose. The people lose. And the thing is that you do have the right to defend yourself on your property. A lot of stupid things were done by people on both sides, including, I would say, the McCloskeys did some stupid things. But I think no one got hurt here. So if they're going to drop the charges against those trespassers, they can't have charges pending against the people who live there. That makes no sense. I can't back that.
Have you ever heard the term "useful idiots"?
Yes.
Basically, what a useful idiot is a pawn. It's where you can control them by controlling their situation or emotions, and you say, "Hey, we're working for you in this," when there's actually a different goal that you have. Therefore, they're idiots because they don't realize that the goal that you're trying to accomplish is an actual goal, and they're useful because it helps you hit your goal.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, I could go someplace with that real quick, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
There's two movements that are both useful idiots.
Yeah.
So,
Here's what I say. Prove you're not a useful idiot. Smash the thumbs ups. Okay, we could get to 100 in the next 6 minutes. I'm telling you. smash those thumbs ups out there, because every thumbs up says that you're not a useful idiot. You are a useful idiot. Instead, no, hold on a second. Wait. When John said, "Have you ever heard the term useful idiot?" My brain said, "I'm pretty sure people have referred to me as that." But yeah, that's a double-edged sword. It could cut either way.
The last time you told me to look up a term, I'm never doing that again.
What term did I tell you to look up?
WAP.
Oh, wow.
And I was
Oh,
like,
no.
and I was like, wireless access point?
Yes, it's a wireless access point. We'll leave it.
And he's like, no, look it up.
Yeah, look it up right now. It will save you. Yeah.
Why do
Okay.
you want me to look up wireless access points?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit crazy. I think it's also crazy that on our side, the McCloskeys went to the Republican National Convention. They became a part of the conservative Hollywood elite and all that kind of crazy stuff. You know, so if there's folks out there thinking that we just feel sorry for these guys, no. I mean, I just don't think that they shouldn't be prosecuted in any way. Let this thing go. It's just you're hurting yourselves with this crap. You know.
Well, it's better than Kamala Harris telling a rapist that she's proud of him, a child rapist that she's proud of him.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, maybe she should spend a couple nights with him by herself.
Yeah, she might enjoy that too much.
She was over the age of 13, so
yeah. I think she would probably enjoy it. Yeah, I think she would probably enjoy it. Speaking of which, real quick, I'm just going to get into this real quick, and then we're going to talk about, there's some NRA news, so hang in with us. We might go a little over. I refuse to leave until we hit 100, so just remember that. You're going to have to hang out with us until we hit 100, so smash the thumbs ups. Netflix indicted in Texas for cuties, lewd depiction of kids alleged. Never looked at this. I do have Netflix. A lot of times I'm wishing I didn't. But it says Netflix is being dragged into a criminal courtroom in Texas over the controversial film Cuties, a film a grand jury believes shows young kids in sexual situations. The grand jury in Tyler County, Texas, just handed up the indictment. According to docs, Netflix is being charged with promotion of lewd visual material depicting children. By streaming Cuties, Netflix allegedly promoted the lewd exhibition of the genitals or public area of a clothed or partially clothed child younger than 18, appealing to the prurient interest in sex. And it goes on here. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this whole Cuties saga and debacle.
Yeah, I have. I've heard about it.
Yeah. I haven't looked at it. I don't want to look at it. There's a lot of things, not just on Netflix. A lot of these things that I'm paying money to are using that money to produce a lot of crap that I don't want to see.
I got rid of Netflix. This was like the last straw for me. There had already been a few other things. They obviously, there's certain political heavy hitters that are involved in Netflix making a ton of money off of them, and I'd rather not my money contribute to that. I know that it's difficult to boycott and ban every company, but the ones that are blatant that I can definitely live without, I'm just gonna stop giving them my money. And Netflix is one of them.
Yeah. Walter, John, Walter, I don't know. You're probably not even up to this, right?
I did. I mean, I know about the Cuties thing. I didn't watch that. I mean,
yeah.
Yes. Do we have Netflix? Yes, we do.
Well, and then they use the excuse of, well, we're trying to make a statement. I know the creator of the content was like, I'm trying to create a statement of child exploitation or the sexualization of children by making this movie. And I was like, but you're exploiting children in order to make a statement about exploiting children. Like, you can't do that. Like, it doesn't matter. That would be like saying, well, I'm going to make a movie about child trafficking, and I'm going to really throw kids in the back of a semi-truck when it's 120 degrees just to prove a point. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's one thing as a documentary. This is not a documentary, my understanding.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you want to bring awareness to people that are murdered, so you go out and murder
and kill people. Yeah, exactly. It's insanity. It's like that. I'm sorry, man, that doesn't work.
At the same time, I think it's a little bit ironic, as John just said, you can indict a ham sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a little bit
Yeah.
ironic. This happens in Texas and all that kind of stuff. There's been an outpour of anguish about it. I think ultimately, probably, yeah, we all just need to get away from Netflix and all these other places, right? They don't really support us. They just go with, I think, Rolanda, you were saying this earlier, they're going with whatever's cool, right? So
Yep.
I've never saw any of this, like Black Lives Matter, a political organization. I don't want to see that reflected on Netflix or Amazon where I pay money to. All of a sudden it happened. And yes, I'm a black guy. And you know, obviously I'm not supporting, people doing bad things to black people. I think, black people need to be free like anyone else, right? But I do not support Black Lives Matter. I don't want my money going to supporting them and then being mirrored back to me to advertise a group to me that clearly is like Marxist and against the family unit. And ultimately, what can we do about this? We got to stop funding these idiots.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think that the indictment's going to go anywhere, though.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I think they walked right up to the line and stopped just short of it. It might not have been good taste, and it might. I mean, you have what is moral and what is legal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think they definitely crossed the line, the moral line. But I'm not sure if they crossed the legal line.
Okay.
But it does draw attention to it.
Yeah.
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 And ultimately, that's what we are. We're in a capitalistic country, so we have to deal with it in a capitalistic way, which is with our wallets. That's what we do. We deal with companies that way. Sometimes the legal system is not going to deal with certain things that we don't like, and it shouldn't. In some cases, it shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
like freedom of speech. Sometimes we don't like what people have to say, but that doesn't mean that we have the government ban people or persecute them. We just say, I don't want to listen to your stuff, so I'm not going to finance you.
Yep.
I see RCF, RCF gum out there says what happens to the footage of the kids who tried out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if when they tried out, they had to try out topless. But the movie was filmed in France where that's not illegal.
Yeah. This
So
is one
that can't be used.
Oh, France again. We come back to France.
F those guys.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably banned from the country.
Those commie bastards. Okay, good food though. Good food, but communist. Nonetheless.
You like French food?
Yeah, I like croissants. They have good desserts. What can I say? Listen, okay, we've got one more story, then we're out of here, Walter. I'm not holding on to you. We still have a lot of people watching us. There's 107. I'm looking at the number right now. 107 people still hanging out with us. We're going to talk about the NRA. Come on, 8 people. Smash the thumbs ups here. Let's get to 100. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep Walter here, and his big, massive cranium will probably explode. So don't make the poor Walter suffer.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, use me. Do I have to take my shirt off too to get a?
I don't know.
No,
I don't think we want to be blinded.
No. Yeah, probably not.
Oh boy, yeah.
Hey man, you better not hold up those guns. Netflix, or not Netflix.
Yeah,
YouTube might
YouTube
stop
piece
your
of-
stream.
Yeah.
Sexualizing the old guy.
My
There we go.
glasses are starting to tint, Walter. Making the auto tint on my glasses activate. Anyway, you guys need to get us to 100 just for the humor. But let's get to this story. It's not funny, and a continuation of the drama and the dumpster fire that is the NRA. Wall Street Journal: IRS opens a criminal investigation of Wayne LaPierre. Yep, the IRS is getting involved. I think we were talking about this before. Probably New York referred them. It says yet another shoe has dropped at the National Rifle Association. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Internal Revenue Service has opened an investigation of EVP and CEO Wayne LaPierre for possible criminal tax fraud. The investigation stems from the current action against the NRA brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James, who has filed a suit in an attempt to dissolve the 149-year-old organization. James's suit alleges that LaPierre took millions of dollars in unreported income from the NRA and its vendors. From the Wall Street Journal report is behind a paywall. Asked at a news conference announcing the lawsuit whether she believed Mr. LaPierre had evaded personal taxes, Mrs. James declined to comment, but said she was referring the matter to the IRS. I believe I was talking about that. The AG lawsuit claimed the NRA's failure to include certain personal benefits in Mr. LaPierre's W-2 annual compensation forms permitted him to file false personal tax returns with the IRS. Comments, gentlemen?
All I can do is laugh. I mean, it seems like everything with the NRA just keeps coming to a head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad because it's almost like politics where it's like technically they're supposed to be on our side, so you hate to see it happen, but at the same time they've represented us so badly in at least their behavior and how the organization is run that you can't help but just say like, well, it's just got to implode and that's the way it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at it. This right now, this time that we're living in right now, 2020, we're in October. We need the NRA to be out there fighting against all this anti-gun nonsense that's out there, putting a backbone inside of politicians, right? They're not doing that. This is what's happening instead. And that's the real terrible part of this. But they brought all of this on themselves. They mismanaged the money that people have been giving them for years and years and years, and people are still giving them. You know, maybe not us here. Maybe we're not supporting them. We're supporting. I noticed John went and threw on his GOA hat.
I can't make a comment.
Okay. Yeah, Walter, you're gonna have to take this up then.
and big corporations still giving them money too. Big gun corporations still giving them money.
How is that? I mean, what the hell's going on? These guys don't realize what the NRA has done and what kind of trouble they're in. Why are they still funneling money in this direction? Maybe if we could get LaPierre to step down, I'm not saying all of this is going to go away, but you know, we could make this organization functionable to those of us that need it, and maybe it'll release some of this pressure and things won't be so bad. They obviously clearly did something. And when the IRS gets all up in you, oh man, they get all up in you. You know, it's worse than being banged by a bear. Trust me. You don't want that.
Banged by a bear.
Right? Who wants that?
Yeah.
By the way,
hey, that's a T-shirt, man. Could
you got it.
Never mind. I just see it. There's Wayne LaPierre, and the bear's doing him. He's like, worse than being banged by a bear. And he got IRS on the bear.
Why are you putting that thought in my mind, Walter?
Yeah.
It's going to be a political cartoon.
Yeah.
You know he lives down the street from me, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You need to start doing.
You got to throw toilet paper in his house or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You guys are saying we hit 100. I don't see it here on my screen.
It's 100.
Yeah, we
It's still at 99. We need to go over. I need to see it. It's not reflecting on my screen.
It's there.
No, I see 99, woman.
It's there.
I see 99.
Oh, Layla. Not Layla. Lola, go
Oh,
slap
no, it
him.
dropped. It's going back. Somebody's teasing you.
Yeah. I need to see it go over that. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know why Walter put that terrible idea in my head.
Now it's down to 98.
Yeah. See, look at that. You
Guys,
just
Take an
teased
awesome
us.
T-shirt.
They're
though.
messing with it
They
now.
want us to stay. They want us to stay if they're not smashing the thumb. Now this thumbs downs go. That's John.
99.
That's John doing that. That's John.
No, that
doing
was not me. It jumped by several.
100 again. 100 again.
RCF Gum says, why can't they go after BLM like they're going after NRA? There's a lot of organizations out there that they're not going to go after like that at all, because it's not. I think this goes back to what Mac was saying earlier, that the people out there that are running the show right now, all of this works for them.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. This is all in their plan. So,
I think that's the massive problem. Okay, I see the 100 now. Okay, John, I know you could. Can you comment yet?
No, I can't comment.
Still can't. You can't say anything. Okay.
Oh, this is what I can say. Anything that we do in the gun world as advocates, whether it's GOA, NRA, SAF, FPC, is going to be looked at under a microscope. So, because there's a lot of money on the other side that wants us all gone. They don't care where we go, just away. So, with all that money looking at us, it might have been a New York investigation, but I am positive that the information came from a source called the Trace.
Okay.
And they're going to investigate all of us. Well, not like all of us. If you're like working at a Walmart or something, then I don't think they're gonna investigate you.
But if you're standing up for the Constitution, for the Second Amendment, things like that, if you're a true conservative out there,
if you oppose any of their views, they're
gonna look
loudly
for anything to try to crush you. So I mean, you just got to be careful, and no matter what. So even if you're innocent, you got to be super clean.
Yeah.
Just don't do things you're not supposed to do. I mean,
Yeah.
And since I know this came from the Trace, guess who runs the Trace? It's a nonprofit that's funded by someone who everyone loves. Yeah.
Yeah. Not surprised by that.
What all the ability to create all these nonprofits was created a few years back, wasn't? Was it legislation that was passed about all these political nonprofits? I forget what that was. Did
that have to do with campaign finance reform?
Yes, and it was part of the stuff that McCain pushed through and all them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
Feingold.
all these political nonprofits, can that be turned off by some way?
And I think Congress was not going to happen because there's too much money.
Yeah,
well,
you're right.
Take away their own benefit.
You're right. It's like it's like putting their own term limits in.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me say this. Okay, listen. I know we've got. Thanks to all the folks out there who smashed the thumbs ups. By the way, really do appreciate that. It's well after 9. We probably have to wrap it up here. I am gonna say, like I've told you guys already, for the rest of the week, we're not gonna be here. There are some episodes that were taken down by YouTube and for other various reasons that Lola has, and those are going to go back up while we're gone. So please check those out and enjoy those, as well as on Hank Strange. We're going to have some videos going up. I am going to be posting stuff on my social media, so if you want to keep up with Lola and myself, please do that. I believe we're going to be at an NRA facility, right, Lola?
Whittington?
Yeah, there's supposed to be a big, massive facility out in New Mexico that we're going to.
Whittington. Colonel Brown always invites me to go out there.
Yeah, I've obviously never been, but that's where
you should go with Colonel Brown, man.
I think Soldier of Fortune, Colonel Brown?
Yeah, I write for Soldier of Fortune every once in a while. I talk to the Colonel. A lot, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. You're gonna have to introduce me sometime.
I advertised in the magazine right before it went away, so.
Yeah, we're gonna be we'll be out there with Lucid, so we're gonna be posting stuff. It's work. So we will be working out there. Let me get these guys to tell you all how you can follow them and keep up with them. Let's start with Crump here. Crump, how can the folks keep up with you?
Check out my work over at Amalan John Crump 2 on YouTube. At 2,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away this Mantis XN.
Okay, very nice.
And also Crumpy.com and Crumpy.com, the CRUMPY.com.
Yeah.
Crumpy.com/popcorn.
Yeah. Every time I hear that, I think I was telling Crump this the other day, I hear the 50 Cent song, PIMP. You ever heard the 50 Cent song?
Hank's trying to get me to make a...
What did I got it. I want John to make a thing of it because every time I hear it, so the line goes, I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get $1 out of me. No Cadillac, no perms you can't see. That I'm a motherfucking CRUMP. That's from 50 Cent. There, you got me singing again. There you go. At the end, before they can cancel us. I think he should make it. It's usually I'm a PIMP. So there you go, PIMP, but it's CRUMP. I don't know.
Crumpy.
Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, let's go to Walter. Walter, how can the people keep up with you?
Oh, you can keep up with us on Facebook and Instagram, Safety Harbor Firearms, and YouTube. And then, oh, where am I completely blank? Dirtfoot, the mini bike go-kart stuff, Dirtfoot Racing's on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube also. You can always call us up. And there's also safetyharborfirearms.com and stenparts.com. So,
all right, awesome.
That's some ways, yeah.
And Rolando, last but definitely not least, Puerto Rican Pistolero.
You can find me. You can find me at Puerto Rican Pistolero on all the major platforms. My wife and I have a podcast every Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern time on YouTube, the Locked and Loaded Latinos podcast. Give us some love. Check that out. You can also follow my wife. She's Latina Locked and Loaded. She's my partner in crime in all things. That's where you can find us.
Absolutely. And let me just say this. Thanks to everyone out there for all the well wishes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to getting on a plane, going through all that nonsense that I have to go through. I try to convince
you don't
Lola,
like flying?
No, I don't have any problem with flying. I've been doing it since I was about 5 years old.
It's the
mask. It's the whole mask and all that crap. That,
I was going to tell you to watch Final Destination.
Oh, I've already seen that. I'm not afraid of flying or anything. It's just I hate all that kind of crap. But Lola doesn't want to drive, so and I don't blame her. So that's why we're doing it. But to remind everyone here of, like, usually I let other people have the last word. My last word is gonna be man forget, coof. Sometimes I man forget, coof. All right, there you go. Okay, you know what? I'll let someone else. Who wants a final word? Who wants it? I'll let you guys get it. No one wants it. I'm gonna run
Support
the
GOA and MLN News. Boom.
Yeah,
there
I'm gonna run the end here.
Yep.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. There you go, Walter's ringing the bell. Monthigate Koof! We out. We're out of here. See you guys when we get back. Lola's posting up stuff here, so you better watch it and share it. Okay? We're out of here. See ya.